1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3. Have you hugged a ghost today? Hello. Well, that wasn't a question for you.
Oh, okay.
Rhetorical for you. Non-rhetorical for you. Let us know in the comments. I'm Tom.
I'm Galen.
And this is your 15 minutes of fume. Woo! Oh, it didn't turn on. Motherfucker. It worked earlier. Ah! Ooh, all that's going in and I'll look like a tool. Anyway.
I'm so scared. What's happening?
It is a ghost.
Oh.
It is a ghost. We are here on behalf of Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab, the world's most haunted perfumer. We're haunted by so many things. Currently, we're haunted by the fact that it is late November. People are still getting their October orders. And we're still gradually reviewing the Halloween 2020 collection, which came out, in our defense, a little late this year. So we haven't had as many of these to review for you yet.
And there's a lot of them.
There are
so just baby
many
steps
of them
through the many-tiered collection.
And as we are bottling and labeling the perfumes, we've been like skimming aside the ones that we'll be able to review, and that means that over the past few weeks we've managed to rack up a pretty impressive collection, of the Haunted House collection that was kind of the big original surprise, blessing of the Halloween 2020 perfume collection. 2020. It just sounds weird.
It does.
Anyway, we have
2020.
9 of them currently here, and there are more, and I wish we had all of them, and perhaps in time we'll be able to record some. We don't know what's going to happen. But we have 9 of them, including split-level Suburban Tract Home perfume blend of my nightmares, and it's the most horrifyingly described one in the collection, and we will work up to smelling it and then have a mental breakdown.
You okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? Okay.
I like that most haunted house stories usually have like an element with the protagonist of "Am I okay?" Like there's a lot of self-doubt in ghost stories. Am I going crazy? Did I do something wrong? What did I do to deserve this? And, often it's really not about the protagonist at all. And the whole idea of the ghost story is that they have incidentally wandered into someone else's complete nightmare and then are left to clean up the mess. And if that's not a 2020 motif for a perfume collection, I don't know what is. So, alphabetically, the very first one that we have to sniff today is Bleeding Walls.
Ew.
Now, these are all inspired by various tropes in ghost stories, haunted house stories. Not every haunted house has bleeding walls.
Some just are molding.
Yeah.
Or swelling. I speak from a house I lived in.
Or are full of rats.
I didn't have rats.
Or spiders.
I had spiders.
Or bones.
Lots of moths.
Moths. Ew.
Yeah. Moths. Ew.
Like one moth, I'm like, oh, lots of moths. It's just like...
There was a weird amount of moths in that house.
Well, what a great way to end that story. The notes for Bleeding Walls are rivulets of gore.
Ew.
Obscure peeling, faded wallpaper, only to vanish just before reaching the floor. Bubbling, sebaceous globs of black cherry. Scabby, dried red fruits. Bitter almond and cherry liqueur. Pushing. I said pushing. Let me start this back up again.
Take a deep breath and remember how to talk. Okay.
Bubbling, sebaceous globs of black cherry, scabby, dried red fruits, bitter almond and cherry liqueur pushing through cracked and peeling velvet flocked wallpaper. Gross. Appetizing. So what I love about this is going for the cherry in a blood smell. You're really going for like a fake blood smell.
Yeah.
Which I think is really nice. As someone who loves actual haunted house attractions. Yes, there's that
undeniably cherry.
Sticky, dark, undeniably cherry, fake blood smell. it's just like vaguely polluted, which in this case makes sense. Bitter almond, we got the liqueur, so there's that kind of gasp of like a boozy sort of touch to it. And it does have a papery note, I'm finding. I mean, of course, in the bottle, the cherry is just like, you know, pew pew, but like...
Put that lid on.
It does have a sort of yellow papery note, which I suspect will kind of be hanging out there for a while. Because the cherry is going to kind of fizz away, I think.
Maybe.
Or I could be wrong, but it does have dried fruits in there too.
They're scabby.
I would probably wear this very enthusiastically with the Dead Leaves Bourbon and Bitter Almond perfume that we tried on recently, because I think they would really balance each other out. I do like the you know, cherry liqueur. The bitter almond actually kind of gives it like a dash of sophistication, but this is a scent with a sense of humor, because if you're wearing a perfume inspired by bleeding walls that smells like cherries, I feel like you're already in like a, you know, there's like a campiness to it that I find entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And smelling this on myself, I think I would just, you know, it actually gives me those like good carny feels of like being backstage at a, you know, some kind of attraction. You're the bored, drunk teenager responsible for, you know, scaring the children once every 2 minutes for 8 hours. Or are you not getting that?
I hate when bored drunk teens try to scare me.
Oh, but that's like most of the first 2 decades of my life. And now I scare them just by existing and being old.
The cherry has definitely calmed down, and I'm smelling more of the paper. Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Kind of unusual. So it is like, you know,
there is that kind of like cherry fruity air to it.
It's not just blood. And it's not just cherry. There's just lots of unpleasant things roiling around in there, so enjoy. Unfortunately, we do not have the Bookcase Passage perfume blend that I know people have been excited about, because anything that smells like books gets people just going like, you know?
Yeah.
Just like swirls up a lot of personal feelings and sense memories, especially among the nerds in our fandom, which includes us. I was raised by books, and we sit next to them when we review perfumes, so obviously we have lingering emotional attachments, but
all kinds of books.
Anyway, hopefully we'll get that and review it again at some other point, but we're going to skip ahead to Creaking Floorboards. Ooh.
What's that sound?
It's funny too, because everyone who lives in other places is like, what's a floorboard? Why don't you just like walk on the carpet?
Or your like vinyl laminate floor that looks like wood.
When we were home for Halloween, visiting my little nephew real quick, I told him the story of the Telltale Heart, because he saw the BPAL stickers on my little Chromebook and wanted to know, because he's interested in horror stuff, and I got to tell him the story, and then I got to tell him the story like 1,100 times, and now he completely knows the story from beginning to end. And it's funny because he's 4, and I had not ever told him a story that like hinged on a murder, for example. Yeah. And I'm like telling him the story in front of my sister, like, I'm telling your son about murder. I'm still invited for whatever, right? So, creaking floorboards, ancient timbers settling, or faint uneven footsteps drawing ever nearer. Why not both? Darkwood Victorian parquet floorboards. Is it parquet or parquet? Parquet is margarine. I don't know.
I think it's
Parquet.
Let us know in the comments.
Parquet. I'm sorry, I didn't grow up. I grew up in Carpetland.
So did I.
Faded with age, cracked and splintered, stained with the memory of spilled black tea, a cigarette burn, and blood.
Just one cigarette burn.
Now, this is one
Never again.
When we were bottling that I got very intoxicated by, because it's really dry and dark and woody, and there's like a sourness to it and a bit of a smoky singe. I think the sourness I'm getting is like a bitter edge from the tea.
Wow.
It smells like age. And
this has like a true old house smell.
Yes,
Oh
there's like an
my.
element of decay, not in like a moldy smell, but in that way that things are troublingly atmospheric, like it's off-gassing. It smells like
my
old
God.
floors. It smells like old floors. This is a perfume for the world that smells like old floors. And I love that it's dressed up with like a few specific notes to kind of tell a story. Cigarette burn, blood, spilled black tea. So it's like, you know, it's not just like floor polish smeared around on old floors.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of a spiciness. It has, you know, a kind of a weird come hither, and you should definitely not come hither.
Yeah.
It is a kind of a weird scent that is kind of attractive and yet intimidating at the same time, which is, you know, both are qualities that I know nothing about, and I have to buy perfume in order to understand them. What is the dominant thing for you there?
Fear? I believe I'm getting fear.
It's chilly. There's a chill to it.
I'm scared. It really just smells like an old house. I'm deeply unsettled.
There's, as it's settling onto the skin, I'm gonna say that there is like some kind of weirdly like coniferous or like maybe eucalyptus, like something chilly is hanging out in there that might be part of the wood, like whatever wood it is that is used. So it's like cool. It could notes like these could take you to like a warm place. And in fact, a lot of our like Victorian style perfumes really do try to kind of like breathe life into this idea of like a historical time period and a sense of like people living there, and this is like abandoned. You probably shouldn't be in here. It's great. It's like, you know, any perfume that kind of advertises your attractions as like a decrepit, abandoned relic, you know, but with, you know, charm, and, you know, you might get a cigarette out of it.
Have some blood.
No? Okay. More for me. Anyway, next we're moving on to endless corridors. They're corridors, they are endless. The perfume is 5 milliliters, but the corridors are endless. Suffocating hallways stretch in improbable directions and distances, in defiance of architecture and physics.
I live at the end of a 5.5 minute hallway.
And even that is like a, you know, at least a finite boundary, one would think. The notes are
5.5 minutes for now.
Are those 5.5 American minutes, or is it New York minutes?
Yeah.
A flicker of beeswax and candle smoke casting distorted shadows on a blackened panel of vetiver.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I have not smelled this, and
I don't know how the panel was blackened. We'll see if it becomes evident in this.
You know, ancient evil.
I mean, obviously on the nose, this is a kind of a sinister, sweet beeswax right out of the bottle. The vetiver is, you know, momentarily smothered by the beeswax. It really does have a bit. The sweetness is burning off right away in the skin, and it has a little more of that I just blew out a candle smell.
I didn't realize there was a beeswax and vetiver combination, so
we managed to keep ourselves fairly pure
really
and ignorant of these scents, because it's not as fun if we like peek ahead. Now you get to have Galen's unvarnished reaction to smelling one of his favorite scent notes for the first time in this particular configuration.
Paired with another one of my favorite scent notes. And I'm still scared.
Oh my god, he's crying and scared, but so happy. This is a warmer scent than the one that we just smelled.
I love this.
And I can tell the vetiver, okay, so it's tamped down for sure by all of the beeswax, but it's kind of rising. But instead of that kind of edge that it often has when it's kind of left to like gallop unconstrained, it really is just kind of rising here as a kind of like a dark, bitter edge, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just one panel of vetiver. The universal unit of vetiver is panels, and there's just one.
Well, I'm going to be wearing this one a lot.
I know.
And I'll be in that hallway for a while.
Not a
'cause
day
it's endless.
goes by that you don't smell like beeswax for one reason or another.
Mind your own. Yeah, the vetiver is definitely coming out like the longer it's on.
Yeah, it's just kind of like underneath it all. There is this one panel.
That's a good
And you're like,
combination.
is that a panel of blackened vetiver?
Certainly smells like a panel of blackened vetiver.
Yes.
Do you by chance have a panel of blackened vetiver in your home?
Oh shit, it's blackened panel of vetiver. BPV, alphabetical. Okay, got it.
Sorry.
You know, the vetiver really brings out the smoke.
Yeah.
So it starts off like it's like the wax and then you get the smoke. That's all I can really say about that.
Yeah. You kind of get to go on a journey, like you smell the candle both lit and snuffed.
Lit and
Blackened.
snuffed.
And then you're in a dark hall. Why did you blow out the candles while you were in an endless corridor? That was a mistake. You don't have your lighter on you.
So here's one that I have been dying to smell, and partly it's because while bottling it, I noticed there was a lot of sediment in the bottle. I don't know what it is because I didn't blend the scent, but the doleful pipe organ. First of all, I love doleful pipe organs. I love pipe organ music. You're wearing your Carnival of Souls shirt, which...
That's why I wore it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but it's themed.
There's just something you learn from as a kid watching old scary movies about the pipe organ. It was just like Hollywood had a real love of the pipe organ. And it's
Where has the love gone?
Well, it's gone into this perfume.
Ooh.
And it's so funny because after I saw how much sediment was in it, and I was really enjoying making sure that every bottle that went out had like a nice squirt of sediment in it. And I wrote to Beth and I said, this has so much like silt in it. It seems almost like oil that someone used to like clean out their pipe organ. And she wrote back and said, thank you. So it's still a Brit. The scent notes are black oud and vetiver with burgundy pitch, guaiac wood, apopanax, velvet black cacao absolute, and incense smoke. I know. So there's just like a lot here. This is another one where I was bottling it, and it's really intimidating. It's just very dark, and
Very dark.
it's kind of velvety.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of Night from the series that we did about who will fight against despair. And I wear that one a lot, but whereas that one is a comfortingly dry, dark cacao situation, this is like discomforting. What did you do?
There's a fly.
Well, now we're haunted by Fly Ghost.
I didn't get it.
It is so dramatic and so doleful. Me, being oud shy, am not scared of this oud. The vetiver, oud, and burgundy have like braided together into this like infernal Cerberus of, you know, attitude. It has attitude. It's like, you know, kind of.
It is dramatic.
It pushes one back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I'm leaning into it and I'm like, is this what the scent wants? Does it want to be smelled? Because if it doesn't, I will back off. I have to say though that the longer it hangs out though, it all kind of tempers. It's still just very brooding, very brooding. And you do get a sense of that, like the black cacao absolute that I kind of recognize from the night blend, and the incense smoke, which kind of is like a little more inviting and beguiling and mysterious. But it's like you definitely have to get past the scare.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to earn the doleful pipe organ's love. And then once it loves you, you're in for life.
In the pipe organ?
No, like, you know, in a relationship with a pipe organ. This is a pipe organ that I would have a relationship with. Like, I'm interested in figuring out, like, the intricacies of, like, what it, like, wants and needs. And figuring out how to, you know, give those things. Those are feelings I've never had about a pipe organ before.
It's complicated with doleful pipe organ.
Oh, it's always going to be complicated. You just really have to not worry too much about what you're going to give in get in return, and allow yourself to be loved by a doleful pipe organ in, like, you know, its particular way.
This is a very weird conversation.
It's all coming from the bottle, my friend.
Hmm.
I have to say, when I was bottling it, and I didn't get to try it on, and I was impressed by it, but I wasn't really sure it was something that I could handle wearing. And as I smell it now, I really will be wearing this. Like, I want to get dressed up in my nice heavy black coat and go out on the town, wherever there is to go, reeking of this, and make people back away from me, but, you know, leave them with a mystery. What's your favorite pipe organ? You don't have a favorite?
I don't know their names. Wurlitzer? Is that a part of
This conversation is over.
Okay. Great. Moving on.
Let's see. Ooh, figure in attic window.
Is it me?
Always a classic.
Is it you?
We don't have an attic, but we do have a cupboard over the closet. It doesn't have a window that I know of.
Figure in a cupboard.
That's a whole different scent.
Dropping that joke.
This is a pallid phantasm glimpsed through thick panes of leaded glass, easily mistaken for dust motes dancing in a single beam of moonlight. White frankincense, star anise, wormwood, and iridescent bergamot. So, the notes that I've just listed have made certain people, you know, stand right up at attention, and then other people are like, swipe left. These are some really interesting, sought after notes, and for others, you know, very polarizing. And then having them all together, wow, the wormwood, oh my god.
The wormwood is popping out.
We were smelling the absinthe and dead leaves recently. I love the absinthe perfume blends. This is like, it doesn't have like the other notes like in absinthe, like there's not that like lemon wedge, you know? It's like vapors rising. So if you like the anise note, then this is your jam. Because that's definitely the star here, and the bergamot is just kind of like the back of the horse costume. You know? Like the old vaudeville horse costume. And then the frankincense, I just feel like it's kind of the proscenium here, just kind of like framing it. There's just like, it's kind of like peripherally undeniable that there's frankincense here. And then you've got your wormwood singing opera and waving razor blades. And then a whole chorus of bergamot. I feel like I just wrote a show. I just like, you know, created a off-Broadway spectacular right here. And it's called Figure in Attic Window. It's really smooth and nice. You don't like that note, though.
It's creepy.
It is creepy.
It's nice, but it is creepy.
When I say
they're all kind of creepy.
Something is nice, I probably mean that it's creepy. I like that the word iridescent is used here because it really does have this kind of like pale, shifting, iridescent quality in the notes. Again, reminiscent of kind of like the whole world of absinthe-related imagery. But that frankincense really puts, you know, a special mark on it. Like it's not just like straight absinthe. What's in the attic? Let's split up. You go up into the attic.
You never split up.
I'll go explore the basement, and
neither of us will return.
We're moving on to It Was Just a Cat.
Oh, thank God. Tatum, it's okay. That's a Scream reference.
Yes. I mean, I guess there are people who weren't even alive when that movie came out, and you actually have to say that.
Yeah. Or who have never seen it, and you're just like, who's Tatum? Yeah.
Channing Tatum? You know? It was just a magic mic.
Oh.
A ghost slapped it out of my hands.
Yeah, they're like, don't talk about that.
This says, a flash of amber fur skittering through shadows of opoponax, red labdanum, and myrrh. I have like so many perfumes on my fingertips right now. I'm not even sure I'll be able to figure out what this smells like. Ooh! This is kind of a really nice welcome turn from what we've been smelling. I mean, it still has like a dark, thick, resinous creepiness. flash of amber fur, though, let me tell you. It's like as much of a bummer as it is to wet your pants because a cat scared you to death. It's always nice to meet a cat.
I like this.
Yeah.
I smelled it in the bottle. I have not tried it on yet, but I actually like it way more.
And these have settled a bit since we bottled them, because in some cases these have been here now a couple of weeks, just sitting and chilling out.
It's a good combination. It's like sweet and musky.
Musk, you say? Oh yeah, that would be the fur. It has a kind of a nice little sparkle to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a particular incense that it reminds me of from my misspent youth. Back when I was, a drunken teenager scaring children. It's like I think it is. I mean, that's just got to be the myrrh.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah. I have the memories of like actually putting like myrrh on a charcoal incense burner and watching it like bubble and
cackling wildly at it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
No, there is something about this that really smells like witchcraft to me, which I guess is appropriate for it was just a cat perfume oil, because also it's almost, it's not always just a cat.
Oh, it's never just a cat.
Sometimes the cat isn't even just a cat. Like, look at movies like Hocus Pocus or House,
Yeah.
The cat is not just a cat. Wow, it does have, like, I love this, like, kind of, like, weird burning scent to it. It kind of reminds me...
like resinous.
It's kind of like how the cotton candy scent is kind of like a burned sugar vanilla,
Mm-hmm.
This has got that, like, actually kind of smoldering, I'm gonna wear this. I didn't expect to like this when we were bottling it. I just didn't really think that much of it.
Yeah, in the bottle I was like, this is nice, but I don't know. But trying it on is actually...
I want to wear this and then watch the movie Cats. Will you do that with me?
No, I will never watch the movie Cats again.
Just one time, so we can...
I have watched it one time, and I will not watch it again.
But you didn't watch it while wearing this perfume.
I will not watch Cats again. I saw it in theaters. I think that's enough.
All right. Wow. Rickety Staircase. Please welcome to the stage, Rickety Staircase.
It's a little wobbly. I'm kind of unsure.
Once the grand foyer's elegant centerpiece, now its winding curves creak treacherously. I can relate. The handrail, dull and splintered under decades of dust, fossilized amber, crackling over dry oak.
Mind the rickety staircase, warned the old woman who is in your haunted house.
Yeah, she's just there to warn you about all the parts of the haunted
You're like,
house.
I bought this house. It was empty. I don't know who you are. I bottled this one, full disclosure, and I have tried it on a few times because
Wow.
Bottling it, I was just like, this is incredible.
It smells fossilized. It's very dry. It has like a kind of a weird mineralic quality over the wood. Okay, it's like the floorboards scent, but it is less decayed.
Yeah, more glowy.
And polished. It definitely, yes.
Oh my god, it smells incredible.
I'm fascinated by this because it's not really something that I would wear. But it definitely smells like a particular place, like it evokes a sinister sort of a setting for... I love a staircase in general. Maybe I'll link in the thing. I once created an entire video clip montage of women falling down staircases in movies or being pushed, because it just seemed like every movie I watched for a while had a woman falling down a staircase, and I started collecting them, and then I released a composite, and now I have the scent
for that video.
Yes, as the woman is falling, this is what she smells, and she's like, oh, how nice. It
smells beautiful as I fall down the stairs.
I've got to say that I thought when we first opened this and smelled it that it seemed a little constrained and not super complex, and already on the skin it is just kind of like yielding new secrets. Like, I feel like this is a scent I could sit with for 20 minutes and just smell it periodically and document, changes, and then that would be part of the evidence that I was insane. A lot of the stuff that we end up doing for work or because of our love of perfume ends up being indistinguishable from insanity. It just kind of is like warm. Oh, it's got to be the amber. I was going to say it's kind of warming up on the skin and kind of coming to life.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, speaking of life, do you believe in life after Rickety Staircase? Because we have Sinister Groundskeeper. Every manor has one. Exactly.
You didn't hire him?
No, you never would have hired this particular person, but they do seem to know a lot about, how it all works. Later you find out that they are a ghost, or they, know the ghost, or, they are actually like, I don't know, like a chair somehow masquerading as a person.
Wow. A chair.
A haunted chair. That movie about the haunted chair.
It's you.
It says... a menacing figure in grassy overalls and mud-flecked boots with a wheelbarrow full of sharp yet rust-stained implements. They're sharp yet rust-stained. At least it looks like rust. Clods of moist soil, crushed dandelions, and the coppery, clove tang of dried blood. Well, really says it all, doesn't it? Ooh, I do like a spicy blood scent, and this is one. It's like a dry, spicy blood. Definitely getting kind of like the grass and dandelions coming up underneath.
Really coppery to me.
Yes. Between the clove and then like the grassy notes or whatever, there's almost kind of is like making me a little dizzy. It's kind of like a very heady sort of like spicy, because the grass notes always have a bit of that kind of like spice to it. There's like something
like spicy, sour, and earthy. It's
sharp
very
and
extreme.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Very extreme. Oh, it's just delightful. It reminds me a bit of that Dead for Filth perfume that we did for Michael Verratti. That is available. This is going to make me sneeze on camera. I've never done that before. I mean, I don't think I have. I'm allergic to Sinister Groundskeeper.
When I was bottling this, I don't know if I should even say it, I thought it smelled like pickles.
You did. I remember you wrote to me and you were like...
because of the coppery clove and then like the dirt. I was just I texted Tom and I was like, this smells like pickles.
I thought you were insane because I had like sniffed the bottle kind of casually, and while I didn't really know what it was, I was like, is there an aftershave component here? Which as I wear it, I don't think there is now, but I definitely did not get pickles.
Just something kind of sour about it, which I guess I equate with pickles. It doesn't really smell like pickles, but my brain thinks it does.
It's the dried blood.
Yeah.
And then there is green to it, though. That's where I think your brain got confused, because there's grass and dandelions, etc. I like it. It's fresh. It's creepy. There's like, a lesson there. Hire your own groundskeeper.
Yeah.
I like this. That this is the perfume that you would wear, though, to smell like you are the sinister groundskeeper.
Right.
Like, I think everyone is someone's sinister groundskeeper. Like, for example, I'm yours. And you're mine.
I mean, I am now with this perfume.
Yes. Can a relationship between two sinister groundskeepers in the same house actually work out?
Does, like, one of us know more than the other about groundskeeping?
I'm sure we are both equally satisfied with our own, superior knowledge. That's the trick, like, and we're both constantly trying to like advise and demonstrate this to each other. It just I would actually, that would be a great idea for a horror movie in which two sinister groundskeepers are like rivals, because they think there should only be one sinister groundskeeper to a mansion, but that they end up falling in love and then they can groundskeep together. It's kind of like The Lighthouse, actually, right? Except for that would be more of a nautical perfume than this.
Yeah.
Is there room for a sequel to The Lighthouse where Robert Pattinson and the Green Goblin end up retiring to...
I mean, what say ye, Hollywood, people who are watching this? If any.
You only need 2 people to film it. It's easy for COVID.
Yeah.
So. Oh no! I think
we have arrived at the end.
that means that we have our last scent in this
true
batch.
modern horror.
Yes, we took it to a poltergeist place for split level suburban tract home. What could be more frightening than that? You know, the 70s and 80s really showed us the horror of the suburbs. And our perfumer has translated that horror into a perfume that says, there's a garbage truck. Speaking of suburbia.
Great timing.
I'll read over it. A bland peon to domesticity, perfect and perfectly ordinary in every way except for the whiff of unease, creeping over the beautifully manicured lawn. So it says, fresh cut grass and chalky drywall with the indole tang of something clammy underneath. You only moved the headstones. Now, if you're not familiar with the perfume term indole, that refers to a particular like molecular scent that is described by many as fecal.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, is... Look, a well-rounded perfume paints with all colors, you know, like there's room in the world to like go around smelling like shit in like a really glamorous way. So, and I remember when Elizabeth made this, she was so proud because she was working on getting it like just the right amount of unpleasant. So, without further ado,
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, so this reminds me of, it's that model home smell. Oh. Oh. It's like one of those things where all you can really say is you breathe in deeply and then you stop and you're like, oh.
I feel ill.
I mean, it's like...
Oh. Can I smell it in the bottle versus the cap?
Oh, I would gladly trade you.
That is really unpleasant.
Yeah. It had... Okay, clammy is a great word, first of all. She really was very specific. The chalkiness I can definitely catch. There's grass. Am I putting this in my body? Am I doing this? I will do anything for you. Ride or die, be pal for life. Oh my god.
Yeah, like chalky, powdery grass, and then like a weird fecal smell.
I mean,
Is it oud?
it's like it's like an off-gassing thing for me. It really is like when you go to tour prefab homes or whatever, and they're all just like sitting in the sun, full of nothing except for the materials they've been made with, and there's just smells, and it's like. It's funny because that's a positive memory for me because like you don't associate it, like when you live there, the smell will go away. I hope. But it really does have that kind of like new house smell.
Something
like
almost antiseptic.
It's not a space for people yet. It is just like a space.
Yeah.
And the things that like end up inhabiting a space that is left like that to just be its own thing are not always like really inviting things. I have to say, on the skin, this is winning me over a little bit.
It smells better on the skin than in the bottle.
In the bottle, it is intense.
It's intense. Yeah.
On the skin, it's kind of like mingling with my like own particular like bioorganic, you know, situation, and it is weirdly comforting. And I'm getting more of kind of like the drywall. Okay, you know what it reminds me of too is that scent in the Candyman collection, the Clive Barker collection that we did, that has the one that's like rotting and drywall and everything.
Yeah.
It's similar except for this is more of like a new house smell, where that one was like a kind of like a bombed out, kind of like rotting house smell.
Yeah.
This is for someone. Especially, okay, so I know that there's oud in here. There's like, it's like the black oud that's like the one that scares people away because of the indole. component. But weirdly, I'm not like I don't want to cut this arm off. You know? And
That's something.
I'm not like a huge fan of these scents. So there is actually a kind of a miraculous transformation happening by which this house seems inhabitable by humans. Do you want to smell it on me? Should I smell it on you? I've got mine like right here.
Oh, it smells way better on you than on me.
Where is it on you again?
It's like right around there.
I mean, I agree that this doesn't do anything for you.
No, it doesn't.
It does not make
It is not doing anything for me.
Want to draw closer to you.
Oh.
It just doesn't.
Weirdly,
on
how about
me,
that
though?
beeswax and vetiver though?
Much better.
Go to my happy place in the endless hallway.
Yeah, but it's on me. It's not bad, right?
No, it smells good on you.
It weirdly.
I'm not sure what's going on.
It kind of again. I mean, it's the off-gassing. It reminds me of the one with the paperback book notes and stuff, where like these are not necessarily good smells normally, but like they do elicit a particular idea.
It's like sweeter on you.
Yeah, I think it's the grass coming out to save the day. If hopefully the grass will just grow over the entire house and no one will ever have to go in there again. So that is literally all the perfumes we have to smell for now in this collection.
And boy howdy, is it a lot at once on both of our arms.
Oh.
Well, and then on all of our arms together. There's a lot happening.
We tried on very different things.
I feel haunted.
We made the decisions that we made. I have to say that cherry from the bleeding wallpaper has mellowed out and is just really just kind of like jolly and nice. And my pipe organ is hanging out. I hear ambulances or fire trucks. So
and you do too.
Someone has clearly called the authorities on us for unleashing too much madness in one video.
Yeah.
Too much. It's too much. Well, I agree. And that's why we're going to end here. But we will be back soon with the rest of our madness. And we hope that you enjoy whatever this is.
Yeah. Totally.
Bye-bye.
Bye.